Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from the St. Louis Park Rec Center as our guy John Olson rides the victory lap, his last one around the rink. Likes to clear up the ice through. This is going to be interesting. That's on. As he will finish up the ice, we'll get ready to go. We're about 7.5 minutes away from the start time here. JV game went a little bit longer, won by the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights by a score of 4-3. This one is one that we had circled. We all have talked about this ad nauseum about how big this game is going to be, and Bart, it's still big because it has a lot of implications for both of these teams, each with 3 games left entering this hockey game. Both these clubs have put together quite the resume. For the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights, they enter this one at 14-6-2. The Eagles at 16-5-1. But I think the most important part of this thing is that the Red Knights are 3-3 in their see, I had a guy come up from behind and completely knock me off whack, dude.
Just regroup.
It's just like,
you're fine.
Really?
You're popular. You're in your backyard.
I got to get to the show where I can be in a press box.
You deserve to
what
be there.
What was I saying?
It's a mystery. You were talking about 3-3 about Benilde St. Margaret's.
The Red Knights are 6-0 in their last 6, and the Eden Prairie Eagles are 3-3 in their last 6.
Yeah, in fact, I think Eden Prairie's kind of hit a couple potholes. They played against a very tough Minnetonka squad at Pagel. Their most recent game, they dropped it 2-1. They played a pretty sound game, but it was just Minnetonka that kind of overwhelmed them with just possession, I guess. But Eden Prairie seemed to get out of sorts. But whenever Eden Prairie gets out of sorts, the next game up, they always play with a bit of an edge, a bit of an attitude, and a lot of focus. So I think they're going to come out with some serious focus tonight, and it's up to the Benilde St. Margaret Red Knights to withstand the first 5 minutes, but they're certainly poised to do so. They've been playing some outstanding hockey of late.
In terms of these two teams' records, as we mentioned, you see them right there on the tail of the tape. Power plays, 2 teams that spend a lot of time on it, Bart, and no question the Eagles with 23.7, almost 24%, and the Red Knights at 21%, but it's the penalty kill for the Red Knights that's been sterling so far this year. They're killing off 91% of the penalties they've taken. And they've been a little bit prone, not as much this year, but sometimes, Ken Pauley says, we stay out of the box, we got a shot against anybody. And the Eagles also killing off at almost 90% at 88%. And their goals against the Red Knights stingy at 1.64.
Well, indeed. Both special teams are very formidable as far as that goes. Both teams can put the puck in the net, but they can defend. And I think the team that defends the most or the best and most effectively tonight is going to have a greater chance for success. But, we're kind of winding down. Both teams really know what they have to work with, and both teams are just trying to play their best hockey going into sections. And tonight's for Eden Prairie, but Benilde St. Margaret just has to keep on keeping on and keep doing what they're doing because they've been playing, as we said, outstanding hockey of late. We always knew they had it in them, but now they're starting to show it.
Here's a look at your top 8. We can only fit 8 on our graphic right here, but coming into this week, we have the final week. Andover's kind of held firm here last week at number 1 at 19-3-1. Moorhead has been right among that top 1 or 2 spot for the past 4 or 5 weeks as well. They had themselves a terrific Christmas holiday season where they put together some nice wins there. In at number 2, the Blake Bears. In at number 3, some may argue that the Red Knights could be and should be ahead of Blake because the Red Knights beat Blake. Yeah. But then on the same token, you have to deal with Cretin-Durham Hall, who beat the Red Knights. So this kind of comes down to where these teams are fitting right now. And you have the Red Knights in at number 4, Prior Lake in at number 5, right ahead of Eden Prairie. Prior Lake, if they can close out and win the remainder of their games, will get the top seed most likely in the Section 2 AA. Eden Prairie in at 6, Cretin-Durham Hall at 7, and Rosemont in at 8. So there's your top 10. And these two teams, obviously 4 and 6, top 10 matchup. What more could you want?
Well, indeed, in Eden Prairie, they just, as you said, they've been a little helter-skelter, a little bit of a schizophrenic team. But even when they weren't playing very well, they were still playing pretty good hockey. But it just comes down to closing the deal. And, they just couldn't do that against Minnetonka, ended up dropping a 1-goal game. But Pagel's not an easy place to play for anybody, but Eden Prairie had their struggles during that game. But as we talked about, they're eager to get back on the horse and play Eden Prairie Eagle hockey.
Well, if you scoreboard watch, both these teams lost to that Minnetonka Skipper team. It was the Red Knights that lost by a score of 3-1 right here at the Rec Center during the Tradition in the Park. And it was also the Eagles last week that lost by a score of
2-1?
3-1.
3-1.
So identical 3-1 scores as far as going.
Gotcha.
Get in,
Yeah. I wasn't listening, to be honest with you. I was being distracted.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of moving parts around here tonight, but I like the way this Benilde St. Margaret's team, and I just said it, about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I said we haven't really seen the ceiling on this team. Even when they played really, really well against Blake and gave a good concerted effort for the full 51 minutes, I still thought they had something left in the tank. But it just seems like now they're starting to kind of flex their muscles a little bit. If they can stay out of the box, as Coach Ken Pauly said, they're going to have a great chance for success tonight, and I think that holds true for the Eden Prairie Eagles as well.
Well, we're going to most likely see Carson Limesand in goal for the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights and Axel Rosenlund in goal for the Eden Prairie Eagles. Both are tested goaltenders, certainly very good here tonight, so we'll take it downstairs for your starting lineups.
Before we get play this evening, let's introduce the starting lineups for each team, beginning with the visitors from Eden Prairie. Starting at goal, number 1, Eli Andrews.
Oh, Eli Andrews gets the nod.
Gets the nod.
Left defense, number 27, Luke Middlestad.
Luke Middlestad will play on the D.
Right defense, number 24,
Cam
Cam Langefels.
Langfels is the other defenseman.
Starting at center, number 21, Rico Brown.
Riku Brown is going to be your center iceman, the big frame, moving from left wing to center. Carter Batchelder moving from center from the last game to left wing. And Drew Holt will be on the right side. Speed and power on that line for Lee Smith's addition.
It's a nice balance.
And they're going to be opening up most likely against the Red Knights top line. Whoa, look at this. Tom Morris going showtime, belly down.
He's serious.
Wow. That's next level. Hat backwards. Limesand, of course, gets the start. Nate Schweitzer was on the shelf for a couple of games, back in the lineup. And Logan Like has done nothing but earn playing time. They put him at center, they put him at D, back at center and at D, and they cannot take him out of the lineup. He's been playing that well.
Yeah, the coach has confidence in him in any situation.
Blake Messenberg has heated up, and the leading point getter of the Red Knights, Cooper Gay, will be on the left wing side. And Charlie Warnert rounds out this line with great grit up front. The Red Knights and the Eagles set to square off here from the St. Louis Park Community Center. Looking forward to this one coming up right after your national anthem.
As the Benilde St. Margaret's pep band leads us in the playing of our national anthem.
Well, as I peruse the lineups, looking at the flow, I think I'm going to have to point out Carson Limesand going old school with the playoff beard.
Oh, indeed. And it's starting to fill in, too. It looks pretty good. Pete, you're talking about how good.
Just for Mad Buddy.
how well some of these Red Knights have been playing. Cooper Gay in his last 7 games has tallied 9 goals, including a hat trick, so he's got the hot hand, as does Adam Marshall, 7 goals in his last 5 games. So the big boppers are starting to put the puck in the net. Blake Messenberg also has 4 goals in those 7 games as well. So if they can get Messenberg on the score sheet, he does a lot of other things well, but if they can get him on the score sheet, that creates a wrinkle that Eden Prairie is going to have to deal with tonight.
Red Knights are jacked up. We'll see how this works. The Eagle, I mean, it usually works for 10 minutes, but we'll see if they can
They got to sustain
continue.
it.
It's 6-0 in their last 6, though. You got to give the Red Knights credit. They've been playing some really good hockey. 3-1 win. You go back to their last 6, it was the 2-1 win over Blake. That was a big one there, and they haven't looked back since. Shutout Chanhassen 4-0. Beat Holy Angels 5-2. Hammered Jefferson 10-3. St. Michael Albertville, see you later there, 7-2. And then Chaska, they came back and avenged an earlier defeat 4-1. And we're underway as Schweitzer plays back over for Yakish over to the near side. They introduced Like, but Brady Yakish gets the nod over on the right wing side, or the right D side, and he is a difference maker. Warnert sends that one through. Schweitzer now up high, plays this back into the corner. Messenberg has stood up on the play. Here comes Holt. He'll give this one to Batchelder from the left wing side, who's going to play this one back in behind. Yakish now off the boards. That's cut off by Brown, and now Messenberg was there to cut off Riku Brown on the play. Now Gay comes away with it, gets that one back in behind. Wanted to find some open real estate and does. Now it's going to be Yakish off the boards as they'll play that ahead. Luke Middlestad is there. Julia Conley is on board. Watching Asher, he should be jumping the boards pretty quick. Joining us from California. Thanks for joining us here tonight. Now it's going to be played back into the left wing side. Busby from Langenbrunner. Now it's Jackson Blake. Stepping up on him with that play there was Will Thompson. And now John Middlestad comes away with it. He'll handle the puck, play that one over for Langenbrunner. Angles that one to center. Picked off by Thompson. He has Geertsen on the right wing side. Thompson to the corner. He goes on the puck back in behind, stays with it. Gets a stick inside on Langenbrunner. Back up to the right wing side it goes. Now it's Steves. He can snipe. Off with a drop pass to Langenbrunner. John Middlestad scores! Oh, what a feed. What a play. That's what they do. The Eagles transition. John Middlestad can shoot it, and it's 1-0 in favor of the Eagles.
Well, it was really a nice transition by the Eden Prairie Eagle team. They came up with numbers. It was Blake that actually eluded a couple checks, got it up to Langenbrunner, but I think it went from Steves to Langenbrunner, and then Langenbrunner back for John Middlestad, and he just went up glove side under the crossbar. That's a goal scorer's goal, but early tally by the Eden Prairie Eagles. I like the body language of the Red Knights. Just back to the dot. Let's get back to work. But 1-0 Eden Prairie early.
Sarsland to Callahan up through center ice. Watched by Bassan on the play. Now there's a shot penalty that misses Marshall there. Play this one up. Sarsland, the snapper. That was red and gloved and held on to by Andrews. Andrews is 7-2 on the season with a stingy 1.67 goals against average and a .912 save percentage. Exact numbers as Rosenlund in the save percentage category. And both Eagle goaltenders have a pair of shutouts coming into this one. Limesand 11-5-2 with a 2.00 goals against average and a .921 save percentage with 3 zeros to his credit. Off the right wing side, there's John Middlestad again. Shoots. That one's deflected. Played back over to Bassan as he gets a Conley. Nice quick feed. Marshall now crosses at the line with Bassan. Lets it go. Nice job there creating on the 2-on-2 to get one in and on. And that's stopped by Andrews as he'll force the faceoff inside the Eagle zone.
Well, I really like the way that worked. It was Jake Casey that was challenging him, but he pulled the puck in toward his skates and let one go. But it was Eli Andrews that made a pretty good save on that shot. Nice answer by Benil St. Marcus. Came right down, put a good shot on goal.
Pergandian off the draw. That's knocked ahead by Luke Middlestad. He finds Stansberry. Back into the corner. Luloff will find the loose puck with Like. Off the side of the net it goes. Like battles with Schweitzer back in behind. That's off the stick of Foley, the converted D-man to left wing now for the Red Knights and one of the 3 captains on this edition. Stansberry knocked away by Mortensen. Foley plays back down low to Mortensen as he turns away from a Langenbrunner bump. Now it's played back up to the line. Nice job to kick that into the corner by Like. It's going to be Langfells around the boards. Stansberry bumps to center. Schweitzer comes all the way across from the right wing side to play that to safety. Back up ice they go. Mortensen finds Schweitzer. He has Ellings with him. Now Ellings heads to the bench. Now that's knocked off the boards. Mortensen hustles all the way over, wedges Holt. There's a quick wrister from Gay that misses the mark. The big carom to the near boards. Batchelder laid that one to the slot area. That's off a Red Knight stick. That's Messenberg. They're going to regroup. Callahan to Sarsland. He'll play ahead to Messenberg. Put some juice on that one to Gay over off the far side. Brown had that one momentarily as they play it to the near boards. Knocked back off the glass. Callahan stood up on the play. And now it's going to be handled by Sarsland. Looks ahead to Gay as he's going to work through center ice. Watched on the play by Britton. Snapper in on goal. And there's Andrews to make the save. 13:27 to go in the first. We're scoring. I mean, it's 1-0. Prairie.
Well, since that last goal, it seems the pace is kind of a little bit urgency by both teams, but a pretty good offering. It was Gay that gained the zone and put a pretty good shot on from a shallow angle. He's got the hot hand, so any shot that Cooper Gay takes is a good effort. But the official scoring was John Middlestead from Langenbrunner and Blake at the 149 mark. I think the scoring table announced Steve's, but I think it was Blake, so we'll go with that until something changes.
Doug Dornsey from
lovely Colorado Springs, Colorado,
is on board. We're with
Dorney.
you too there, Doug.
Dorney,
Thanks
how
for
are
joining
ya?
us here tonight.
As always, man. The original Dorney, huh? The generation.
Taking a shot at Greg Nornbach.
Not a shot at all.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just-
he did come first, though, Doug did.
Right.
The original Dorney. I'll
That's
go with
right.
that.
Okay, we'll do that.
We're all good here.
Everybody's happy.
Face off in the neutral zone, 13-18 to go. A quick goal by John Middlestead. That was off a terrific feed to him in the slot. As that's what the Eagles can do to you. This guy right here, Steves, is so dangerous in open ice.
And the puck seems to like him, too. It kind of hunts him out.
Foley with it. You know, I had this dubbed as 1 versus 2 in the offseason to see who this would be. It's 4 versus 6. Things happen, right?
Yep.
Injuries, illnesses. There's a shot.
All
Tough
kinds of
losses.
variables. Right.
Played back in behind. You know, if the game were easy, there'd be more teams that have run the table in recent history. When you think back to Bloomington Jefferson running the table in, was it 93? And then you have Lakeville North, I believe, in 2000. Was it 13?
I think it was
Or
a little
15.
later than that. I think it was 15, but then you have the
2015.
74 Hornets
That's all
as well.
meshed into one. But I mean, since 93,
Sure.
when you go back to 74, half our audience wasn't listed, wasn't alive.
Well, I'm sorry they missed it because it was exceptional.
Or there just weren't enough teams.
No.
Schweitzer, I'm being. Come on now, would
okay.
you just relax?
Get sensitive.
Conley plays that one, and I totally picked the scab. Busby with it behind the net. Bassan is there. I mean, you could argue there were 2 Edina teams, not 1. There were 3 Bloomington teams, not 2. There were 2 Hopkins teams, not 1.
Yep.
Back up to the neutral zone.
Lindbergh and Eisenhower, Lincoln.
You had
played against them all.
Armstrong and Cooper. Lincoln was good back in the day
indeed they were.
with your namesake Bart Larson.
And Steve Russian.
No relation to.
And
In on goal.
Russian was on that team. He's a writer for Sports Illustrated now. It's a little fun fact
Back
for
in
you.
behind the net. Pergandy plays this one over for Stansberry. Busby now looks up ice as he'll stay on the puck. Luloff plays this one ahead. Callahan's there. Over for Marshall, played back in behind. Now it's going to be Langenbrunner. Gay jams him, forces the turnover. Ooh, Messenberg nearly had that. They'll play it over to a near wing. Busby off the boards. Messenberg plays the body. Right wing side for Holt. Brown wants it, gets it. Back up through center. Stopped by Sarsland. Holt is there. Turn back up ice. Warner, nice dish outlet too far for Messenberg and icing the call. We've got another shout out and a hello. Speaking of James Callahan, Father Chad Callahan came over to me. He's not a priest. And brought up a couple of his buddies from the Sun Prairie High School hockey team that he played on. Of course, that's basically a suburb of Madison, Wisconsin. Hello to Jason Harkins, Brian Wilson, sorry. And we're not lying in bed just like Brian Wilson did, and I know he hears that all the time. Todd Wilson, not brothers either. Harkins and Brian Wilson and Billy Lino, almost forgot about him. Todd Wilson in California, the other 3 chilling somewhere in the Madtown area. Thanks for joining us here tonight.
Absolutely.
That's about the length of shout I've ever given anybody. But you know what? Chad Callahan's the treasurer for the Eagles, and you got to take care of the guy that cuts the check. Blocker pass save, steered over to the near side.
I'd like to think you'd take care of him regardless. Anyway,
Of
P. Wagner.
course. Warnert with it. Wanted to feed the middle. Luke Middlestad off the glass. Messenberg was there. Plus with the neutral zone. I think they were vintage 1990.
Nice.
Ooh. Steves can snipe in one of the high glove quarter. Now Gay gets checked, but Messenberg takes over across the line. Colton shoots, stays with it. Over to the near boards he goes. Looks to play this one to the slot. Look out, here comes Warner back into the corner. He's got Schweitzer that flowed in on the play. They'll play this one through everyone, the length of the ice it goes, and icing the call with 10:24 to go. Nice crowd assembling here. Late arrivals, and I think we know why, because the parking is so great.
they had to park across the street likely and walk all the way in.
But it's there. It's good.
Oh, indeed.
Get your cardio.
It's going to be certainly worthwhile, but there's a little game where two players kind of intersect. There's a little having a little stick work, a little action. So it goes a little bit more than just a hockey game. There's some personal issues going on here, and they're very familiar with each other, and there's a little intensity going on.
David Hill owes me a beverage of my choice. It's going to be a shake. If he looks over his left shoulder, I called it. You owe me. You owe me. Thank you. Back in behind, there's Riku Brown. We had an extra row of seats, and I guaranteed him someone was going to sit there, and I was right. And now it's going to be Holt who gloves that one down. Now it's Schweitzer with it. Nice job to muscle that one off. Mortensen plays one in, bounding puck. Andrews pounces on that one, and he'll cover that one up.
Well, it wasn't a bad idea by Andrews to cover it up. Mortensen with a good head of steam going against Casey, and with that Mortensen stick, just better to cover the puck. Allow your coach to get some fresh legs out there. Face-off now is going to be to Eli Andrews left. 9:45 left in the first period. Been a really good pace, but other than that John Middlestad goal, minute and a half in. It's been 0-0, but it's been up and down. It's been a 50-50 game since then, but both teams playing with intensity. Fun to see.
Off the glass, Callahan pinches. Pergandy comes away with it for the Eagles across the line. Oh, there's a pass that's played over the near side. Now it's going to be picked up by Marshall. Bassan is there. The Eagles are wearing their red sweaters with their new crest, their new patch on the front. And Lee Smith joked with me prior to the game, goes, yeah, we're wearing red, thinking maybe the Red Knights might accidentally pass them, thinking they're on the road.
I don't know if that'll happen, but I like the thought.
You know Lee's sense of humor, right on.
That's a good one.
Like over for Callahan across the line as he'll gain center. John Middlestad gives for Busby over to the right wing side for Langenbrunner. He'll just simply gain the line and play this one in. Limesand gets a piece, but not all of it. Callahan guides along for Bassan, plays to center. Steves will send that one back into the Benilde St. Margaret zone as it's going to like with it. His pass was deflected away by Blake. Now Gay's going to wind this one up to the right wing side. Gay with it now as he's going to stay on the puck to the corner. And now Warner was there, albeit momentarily. And a penalty coming up as John Middlestad was tripped up. Here comes Steves. He's dangerous. Shoots. Oh, what a save made by Limesand. Didn't bite on the quick hands and the move down low. And keep that one out of the net. We get to see the Eagles wind up on the power play now.
No, but that was a play by Blake on that one to know that Steves was coming up, so he hit the puck for Steve. Steve came in with a bundle of energy, and here you can see a little bit of action, but that's where the penalty, the infraction started, and that was Middlestad. But this is where Blake did a nice job leaving it for Steves. He was one-on-one with Limesand, and I think the puck on him a little bit, but big by the Benilde goaltender is it's Warner. It's going to go for the penalty. Power play for this Eden Prairie Eagles team.
There's John Middlestad with it. Back into the corner to Steves. He'll kick this one down to the corner again. Back in behind. Steves lays up for Blake. Finds Luke Middlestad. Quick pass over to John. Now it's going to be Blake with it to the near side. Callahan rubs him to the corner. Down goes Blake. Sarsland is there as he's knocked down by Riku Brown. And it's going to be Bassan to center, watched by Luke Middlestad. Middlestad takes him down. Now it's going to be Steves to come away with it as he has some ice to move. Here comes Steves, watched on the play by Mortensen, Schweitzer. Steves angles in, lost it, gets it back. Plays that over off to the right side for John Middlestad. He'll look and survey snapper. That's right off the mask. Scores! Off mask. The rebound gathered in by Steves, and he knows what to do with it, Bart, and he buries for another tally. He's had a prolific season. 2-0 Eden Prairie.
Well, that's going to be number 25, so a nice level for that young man to get to. But it all started in the Eden Prairie zone. It was Steves that raced up the right side with speed. Schweitzer took a bit of a shallow angle, but Steves worked his edges, got out front, lost the puck, came around, gave it to Middlestad. Middlestad just let one go. A really good shot, but the rebound came out, and Steves from the right side from a shallow angle put it into an open net. 2-0. Now Eden Prairie, 7:29 left in this first period, but Benilde's got to get on their horse here, Pete.
Langenbrunner now out of his own zone. Did Stansberry get that? He did not. 7:21 to go here in the first period. Power play marker for the Eagles. Ben Steves picks that one up, Bart.
Yeah, indeed. And that's his 4th power play goal. He's only got 5 goals on special teams, so 20 of those have come at 5-on-5. That's a very important statistic.
You know, it's interesting when you think of him on the power play, he's more of a distributor as well. There's a shot that's wide of the mark. Langenbrunner now from the corner. Back up high to the slot, knocked over by Mortensen, but taken away by Pergandy as he looks up ice. The big heavy center through center, knocked away from him by Mortensen. Britton now plays for Langenbrunner to the near boards. Dance over to the right wing side. Mortensen flushes him over to the stick of Britton to Luloff. Yakish, where did that come from? Stood up on that play as he plays it in. Now it's going to be Langenbrunner back up the center. Stansberry back into the bench area there and out of play. 6:45 to go in the first. And, you know, Bart, you got to give the Eagles credit after being ground to I don't want to, you know, like a coffee bean. But, I walked by the Eagles coaches after the game against Minnetonka and said, man, they played pretty well. And they go, wow, we allowed them to.
Yep.
But I think there's also a way when the other team can make you look pretty, can play pretty well. And I thought for Minnetonka, man, if I'm in the Section 2AA, I'm not going to want them at any time if they play like that.
No, Minnetonka's a good team. They skate very, very well, and they can defend. I mean, they have a lot of checks in the right boxes. So, losing to Minnetonka is not the worst thing in the world. Minnetonka earned that game, but you're right, Eden Prairie gave them a little bit more space than they should have, and they outscored them, which is the point of the game. But Eden Prairie, even when they don't win, they don't play terrible. This is too good of a team, but I think that this Eden Prairie team is showing the focus that maybe they lacked in the second and third period of that Minnetonka game, but they certainly brought it tonight.
I think when the forwards are committed and they're engaged, Bart.
Oh, yeah.
And they were that night. The defensemen, I feel, in Minnetonka have been so good, and their power play is good. But the Eagles aren't letting that bother them here tonight. They're taking the ice they get. They're winning their battles. And one thing about this Red Knight team is they play with a level of grit that is appreciated by yours truly.
Well, and appreciated by me as well. But Eden Prairie had certainly got their attention early when they started working the body. But it has to be with purpose. You can't just take the body to take the body. But I like the positioning of the Benilde St. Margaret Red Knights. When their wheels wobble a little bit, is generally because they bunch up and they lose their positioning. Tonight they've been in the right spots at the right time. Just a couple pretty good shots by this Eden Prairie team.
Gay gets away from Langfeld. Scores! The guy can flat out snap. Watch him dunk this check from Langfeld. Just shrugs him off like a flea at 6'4", and Langfeld is a big guy, 215 pounds, and he can snipe. Cooper Gay, man, goal number.
That's going to be goal number 17.
17 for him.
But Pete, that's going to be 10 goals in his last 8 games, and he's still involved in that in the 8th game. So he's still got some room to move here. But it was just a nice snipe. When a goal scorer, a person that can score goals like Cooper Gay, starts feeling the confidence, he's going to take those shots. And he was very successful on that one. That was a goal scorer's goal, but it provided energy for this Red Knight team. So now it's a one good shot game with under 6 minutes to go in this first period.
And the band gets engaged here for the Red Knights. Nice crowd assembled as always.
And the band plays on.
When these two teams get together, well, it's not quite as loud as Braemar, that much I can say with the 90 drums.
Yeah.
Playing as loud as they can. Now Steve's with it. Blake takes away at center. Just that. Callahan and Sarsland pick up the helpers. 12-2 your time on the Red Knights goal. It's that lead in half at 2-1. Now the JV game, it was the Eagles that jumped out to the 2-0 lead, and for the Red Knights, it jumped out to the 2-0 lead. The Eagles responded with 3 straight, but ended up losing that one 4-3. So will we have the same texture? Who knows? Schweitzer now back in behind the net. Mortensen. Engfelds checks him on the play. Brown was there. Schweitzer walks across the right wing side. Now Mortensen knew he had a shooting angle for a second. There's a shot. Andrews fights it off. Back off the corner. Conley back up for Schweitzer. His wristers blocked off the gear of Batchelder. Back in behind the net. They knock this over to Batchelder. Nice quick hands to pull the. Here comes Batchelder across the line with Holt trailing. Batchelder in on goal. Tried to pull the trigger. Sand was there. Knocked away by Conley's stick. And now it's going to be Langfeld's back in his own zone. Langfeld's off the boards. There's Marshall. Gloves that one down. Plays that into the corner for Conley. They've got numbers going to the net. Conley, the return feed from Bassan. Bassan out front. That's knocked away by Andrews. Nice chances there. Now Brown plays to the right wing side for Holt across the line. He's watched by Sarsland. Holt wanted to accelerate to the corner, fed Batchelder. Now it's going to be Marshall from the right wing side. Looked ahead, that's off the stick of Britton as he plays back over for Luke Middlestead. He'll play ahead to Pergandy now from the left wing side. He'll be bumped on the play by Yakish. Now it's Sarsland, watched by Holt. Bassan plays this one through. Gay will position himself as he's watched by Pergandy. Fights that, wow. Plays that one, nearly got that one through center. Yakish gloves it down, accelerates. Penalty coming up. We're going to have a tripping call. That one on the Red Knights as Yakish was accelerating away. Just got kind of tucked in there. Yeah. I don't think Luloff was looking to stop him in any way. It just kind of happened.
No, but that's what happens when you move feet, and it was Benel St. Margaret moving their feet. Say one thing that I'm a little worried about is the speed on the Eden Prairie wingers are creating problems for this Red Knight defensive squad. Twice gone the far edge and worked their way back out front. But Carson Lamson picked them up. But now Benil St. Margaret's on the power play. 3:34 left in this first period, down by 1. In an offensive zone faceoff.
Schweitzer now plays this down. This would be the Red Knights first. On the trip for Luloff, back in behind the net. Mortensen finds Messenberg. Mortensen takes his spot in front of the net. Messenberg shot a bullet, misses the mark. Yakish will wait for it. Got a break there as he didn't get all of it, but stayed with it. Callahan for Yakish, back up for Schweitzer. There's a one-timer by Messenberg. How about that? You've got 3 defensemen out on this power play unit.
I don't think that's a bad idea, especially when Callahan's in front. He's a physical player that's going to be hard to move as far as giving Eli Andrews sight lines, but it was a nice sequence by Schweitzer over to Messenberg, and one-time shot, didn't dust it off, just let it go on goal, but nice side-to-side by Eli Andrews to keep that puck out of the net. 1:29 left in the penalty, Luloff.
Schweitzer over for Yakish as Yakish will play ahead to Messenberg. Messenberg was going to leave for Schweitzer, but instead hangs on and gives to Yakish.
Oh, dangerous
cut
play.
Off by Batchelder. In on goal, shoots, pad save, rebound. Holt was there. Great speed up front for Lee Smith's Eagles on the PK. Now it's going to be Yakish with it, across center. He's going to be stood up, hands got up high there. Back into the corner, Mortensen now. It's going to be jumped on and covered by Andrews with 59 to go in the power play.
Well, that sequence kind of got your attention if you're a Red Knight fan or an Eagles fan, but a bit of a misplay at their own blue line, and it was it Batchelder that went in and got that shot on goal, but a pretty good shot, and it was Holt that followed, so kind of a trying moment for this Red Knight team, but they did survive. Now the faceoffs all the way down into the Eden Prairie zone. Eli Andrews doing a little equipment adjustment, just 59 seconds left in the tripping penalty to Eden Prairie's Luloff. But it's been, a pretty good power play until that one sequence for Eden Prairie. So as far as scoring opportunities, 1-1. But again, this is an Eden Prairie team. Even though they're a man down, you still have to mind your defensive responsibilities because both of these teams have the talent to score shorthanded. So obviously you have the power play. It's your opportunity to use the odd man advantage, but you still have to mind your defensive responsibilities.
Andrews, you see there, he's lacing up.
That's the tough skate for me, Pete. I got to work around my belly on that skate. Right skate's not a big deal. Left skate's
really.
Right skate's not too bad.
Are the tough
I pant when I do the left one, but more information than anybody cares to know.
It's amazing how quick the pads get on though these days, because that would have been like 20 straps in the 80s. Sent the length of the ice, 2:25 to go in the period, 50 in the man advantage as Sarsland retreats. Stansberry gets close. Limestone didn't like it.
I wouldn't have liked it either.
Well, I wouldn't have either, but that could have been a slash.
Yeah.
In the 80s, it would have been an applauded play by the officials. They would have said, get him out of there. Today, it's different. Conley now for Sarsland. Marshall, one-timer, just wide of the mark. Oh, there's a puck that was trickling toward the goal mouth area, knocked away there by Langenbrunner. Sarsland, Marshall plays that over to the far side. Bassan will retrieve, and it's going to be Sarsland and Stansberry that came together. They're both going to go.
Well, that might have had some residual value as far as Stansberry going down and interrupting Carson Limestand's train of thought, and Sarsland had the opportunity to kind of send a bit of a message, but they're both going to go off, so it's still going to be 5-on-4 for another 16 seconds till Luloff comes off, but being the coincidentals, it'll be 2 minutes minimum, and then the next whistle, they'll be released.
So we'll keep the face-off inside the Eden Prairie zone, and as we mentioned, Bart, I have to do two. So hello to West Metro, who's actually here in person, the true super fan of high school hockey.
Yeah.
These Red Knights girls will be playing in action against Edina in the Section 6AA final tomorrow. It should be a dandy. That Hornet team is loaded. There's a shot that's off the mark. Red Knights are shabby themselves. They're a very good hockey team and belong there for sure.
And did I read it right that Edina Hornet
it's the
player
semis,
is
semifinals?
Edina Hornet is not considered for Mrs. Hockey? Is that correct?
For Ms. Hockey, I mean, how Em Connor is beyond me, but that's okay. Now it's going to be Gay with
Team
it.
sport.
She's got like 1,000 goals, but I guess we don't like goal scorers here in Minnesota. We like the helpers.
We like to trade them.
We like the helpers.
Sorry. Shouldn't have said that.
I like that. You get me going on that. Luke Middlestad with it. I love Neil Broughton, but it's Neil Broughton syndrome. You know, everybody wanted to be Neil because he's Mr. Distributor.
Oh, yeah.
Schweitzer with it now. Callahan looks ahead. Tripped up was Langfells as we've got 50 to go in the period. Luke Middlestad with it. Plays that one rink wide for Blake. Knocked off his stick. Warner looks ahead. Ooh, Thompson was shivered. Now Blake comes away with it as he turns to the left. He's going to try and slice through there. Steves, he pulls it out of nowhere, and it's off the stick in a half second.
It's
now
a big league release.
It is a big league release. Now it's going to be Messenberg. They have energy. Messenberg shoots. Stick save made. There's a puck that's played out front. Steves is there as he stood up by Warner. Now it's going to be Blake 2-on-2. They've got a 3-on-2 if they hurry with Batchelder. There he is. That shot blocked. Now Yakish. Oh, plays that one ahead. Here's Foley. Foley and Britton. Foley tried to go inside on the man, Britton, but that puck was right into the wheels there as they're going to pin up off the boards with 2 seconds left. Back in behind the net. And what a period of hockey here. This is good high school hockey. Right here at the hockey.tv. It's 2-1 in favor of Eden Prairie.
Well, indeed a great pace. The difference in is a power play goal by Steves, number 25 in the year, but 2-1, both teams going into the locker room. I think both coaches had to feel pretty good about the showing in the first period. Room for improvement on both sides, but I thought it was a very good pace, a very entertaining first period. I expect the same in the second.
We'll take a timeout. We'll have the exciting second period coming up for you. The Eagles and the Red Knights, 2-1 here from the St. Louis Park Rec Center. We'll be back right after this.
I think that being in a sport, it has built into it the concept that we are going to face a challenge. When we do sport right way, we are teaching values. We're teaching kids how to be hard workers. We're teaching kids how to be courageous, to be fearless. Dynamites, because we have a focus on whole life youth development, physical, academic, social and spiritual excellence, we get that we're trying to develop people to be whole people. And I think that when you combine that mission with sport, I think you naturally get that. We have programs in each of those 4 areas. We have ice hockey for physical excellence. Academic excellence includes academic support like one-on-one tutoring. We have a summer academic camp. Social excellence includes our big community service project, Greg Carroll Learn to Skate, and also we're faith-based. So when kids are old enough, they have the choice to go to summer camp, kind of that traditional summer church camp. Every kid in the program has multiple mentors. If they're in tutoring, they have a very special mentor that's just their very own. And then of course the hockey coaches are mentors, and of course all the staff are mentors too. We have a very high retention rate. Dynamite's high school graduation rate over 20 years is 85%. And over the last 5 years, 96% have graduated, which is really significant because right now Minneapolis Public Schools is reporting that their graduation rate is 53%. So that, I think, is another measure that shows that Dynamites is working. Being a faith-based organization, I think we're able to say things that are really powerful sometimes. We might say to the kids, like, we're going to do some hard things today, and we want you to remember we can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. A few minutes later, we might be asking them to do that hard thing, and you got heads down and panting, and remind them, remember, you have strength. God's given you the strength to do this. You have the strength that you need inside you right now. They might even remember the moments where they began to believe that, where they began to believe, I should be fearless. Only believe, do not fear.
We're between the first and second period here at the St. Louis Park Rec Center, home of the Medill St. Margaret's Red Knights, who are trailing the Eden Prairie Eagles 2-1. Eden Prairie comes in ranked number 6 in your most recent MNHockey.tv rankings, while the Red Knights settle in at number 4. Great hockey game. Joe Zander, who's the youth leadership manager for the Pinky Swear Foundation, joins us on this momentous night. It's a big one. Good hockey game, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for having me out again.
That's fun. Great to have you. Of course, join us in Edina. You had a great, successful event there where some of the girls on the Edina High School girls team put together some awareness and fundraising things for you. How did that event work out for you guys?
It was great. Those girls raised over $2,000. We had a couple Chuck-a-Puck events for the girls varsity and the boys varsity that day, and it was a great awareness piece because the fans were packed, and everybody was asking about the foundation and you were able to learn a lot.
And you guys are all about kids helping kids, and that's
right.
Part of the mission, and that's part of what you do. How that obviously occurred because you're able to get it going, but how do you get more of those types of things to occur and happen?
You know, I work with a lot of kids throughout the area, a lot of schools, and it's just usually an opportunity for kids to learn about philanthropy, and a lot of them reach out to us because they know that we have that Kids Helping Kids motto in our organization. And it's great for for high school seniors because they're always looking for something to build their college resume, so it kind of works hand in hand there.
Now, the Pinky Swear Foundation is really incredible how it all got started, and really it was a young man that had cancer, and he was, what was he, about 8, 10 years old?
9 years old, yep.
9. Let's put this
right there.
He made his dad Pinky swear. They did a deal where I think they brought food.
Well, so he had osteosarcoma and he was in the hospital, and he had his dad take all the money out of his savings account to give to the other kids on the oncology floor, to give them Christmas presents and everything.
That's
they had.
What it was.
Yep, Christmas presents. And so right after that, unfortunately, Mitch passed away, but he made a pinky swear with his dad to always help those kids.
So you got a kid who drained his savings account, who wasn't doing great, who did that for others.
Right.
We're sitting out here, we're playing hockey. We're looking for college opportunities, junior. It's life and death, quote unquote, for that. But this is real. And these are kids that are doing real things for real people, that are in need. And you guys took up that mantle as an organization, as a nonprofit. And, part of what you do is provide food, help with a mortgage, who knows, it could be gas, whatever it is, because let's face it, when you get this type of illness, it ain't cheap.
No, it's not. And we always say if, some person in your family gets cancer, the whole family gets cancer because the whole family's world turns upside down. And, everything you were able to do, you can't do that anymore because, you got doctor's visits, you got medicine, you got bill, and all that just adds up continually.
When you're 60-some years old, you've worked a lifetime, and if you put together some sort of retirement package or a 401k or an IRA, whatever it is, you've got something to fall back on. But when it happens to your child, it's unexpected, and you're not. That comes out of nowhere, and it's really important to keep that in mind. That this becomes almost a double whammy because it's not expected.
Mm-hmm.
Financially as
right,
well is
right.
what I mean.
Again, we say family, they plan for college, they don't plan for cancer. So all those savings, everything you put away, all the vacation fund, the boat fund, everything, that goes right to that.
15,000 plus families have been supported since 2003. $15.5 million has been raised since 2003, and over 12,500 kids helping kids has occurred since 2003 as well. So it's just under 20 years old. The things that you're doing are really incredible. And you have some really good events coming up right now that people could get engaged with. Can you go into those a little bit?
Yeah, so Sunday, February 23rd, we're at the Radisson Blue at the Mall of America. We have our annual Kids Chef event, which is just a competition. We bring a lot of executive chefs throughout the area, and they're able to compete. And it's a really cool opportunity for kids who like culinary to learn a little bit about learn about cooking, and from an actual executive chef from hotels and restaurants around the area to really
those shows.
Absolutely. It's
Right.
It's the same thing. It's like a master chef or top chef.
Yeah.
It's that same system, and the kids compete together. And again, it's all about raising money for these families who need it and being able to raise awareness.
And then don't forget the big gala coming up. Hey, that's a
And
big deal. A lot of fun.
That's a huge day. I mean, that's such a fun day. We have a lot of people come out. And again, it's just another opportunity for people to come and support the organization.
If you were to summarize what your team is about, what kind of character you have as a group, all the people that work around from Erica all the way on down, the Erica Campbell, the executive director, what's the type of person that works with you in this foundation?
Definitely passionate. I would say people do it because it's work worth doing. And it's actually when you see it every day, you understand really how much just even the smallest thing really means to a family. Whether it's just a letter in the mail or a financial gift, it's something that really means something. So you see that every day, and it really energizes you. So I would say passion is what everybody has.
And if you were to say, what is your biggest need that I wouldn't know about? I mean, obviously it's going to be money, right? I mean, because it's how you help these
Being
families.
a financial organization, money is always the first thing.
Of course, so that's number one.
Right.
But to get to the money, what else do you need?
I always say, I even think time is more important than money, is just giving yourself. We have a lot of events throughout the area. We have a lot of kids that want to be a part of the organization. So if you have any access to, youth that want to be part of it, even adults, they can fundraise for us. They can come out and volunteer at events. They can come, food pantry donations, because we have, food shelf at hospitals around the area too. And so I would just say, go to the website and look around and see what you have, and then reach out to us and see what seems more exciting to you.
That website is pinkyswear.org. You can also follow. See, you've got all the icons on here. We've got Facebook, Twitter. What's your handle?
At Pinky Swear Foundation.
Okay, and then Instagram?
At Pinky Swear Foundation.
Is that YouTube I'm looking at there?
That's right.
Wow, how about that?
And guess what that one is?
Pinky Swear Foundation. Wow, Pinky Swear Foundation. And then, is that Snapchat?
That's Snapchat, yep. We're on all.
How much is that? How alive is that one?
It's more so for our events, but we do post quite frequently on it. We have a nice little social media team. Again, that's a great opportunity for any college kids that want to be part of internships. They usually run all of our socials, so it's a great opportunity for them.
I do beauty makeovers for websites, among other things that I do, and I think I mentioned this to you last time, Joe. Whoever did your website did a heck of a job. It's clean.
Yep.
It's easy to follow, easy to get to everything. While you're listening to this broadcast, check out pinkyswear.org. If you're so moved, I mean, this is for people that are just perpetually grateful and forever grateful for anything that you can provide in any way, whether it be time or resources or money even. Be a part of the gala. To get in there, you just click to the events, correct?
That's right. You'll see everything that we have coming up, and then that gets updated just, as soon as we get to more events going around
Your
throughout the year.
details are all right there, and it's a
Everything's right
simple thing to do. So that's great stuff. And Joe Zander, we appreciate your coming by here.
Appreciate you having us on. Good
Silky
game.
smooth. You're a good guest. You know that?
You're even a better host.
Oh, thanks. Oh. Checks in the mail. Thanks, buddy. Joe Zander from the Pinky Swear Foundation. Thanks for joining us. That's pinkyswear.org. We'll have more high school hockey coming up right after this.
It's pretty easy to be proud of the fact that we've been in continuous operation for almost 120 years. Now, obviously, Ennebec Construction started that, and they're a big part of it. Since then, in the 20 years that Tradition's been around, we've built on to that legacy, and I think we've created our own legacy and our own brand, which is pretty special and unique.
We've kind of coined the phrase between all the nutrition companies and led by the bank's Keystone program. However much money we make, we give 10% of our earnings to the community and lots of time as well.
Our business model is centered around building communities, whether that's, providing the dirt work or building the houses or providing the financing. We're really, our success is really part of the overall community success. The fact that we live in the communities that our customers live in as well. We're side by side with them. And really our promise to our customers would be that we reinvest back into the communities and we help make the community stronger, where if you're doing business with, out-of-state competitor, those dollars are going out of state, but we're putting them right back in the community.
And we welcome you back to the St. Louis Park Rec Center. Here's a quick look at your highlights from period number 1. The goal scoring opened up on this incredible marker, Bart. With it, gets a stick inside on Langenbrenner, back up to the right wing by John Middlestat. Now it's Steve. You'll see as he follows up the play to the drop pass area. To Langenbrenner. John Middlestat score! In the dangerous scoring area. If you get a shot there every time, you're going to bury. But then the next goal was scored by Ben Steve. Plays that over off to the right side. Can just snipe on the power play.
Yeah, indeed, and that's the reason why this Benilton Margaret team has to stay out of the penalty box. Kind of a show on that one.
We'll take a look at the third goal of the period, the Red Knight Cooper Gay marker on the next whistle, as it's 5-on-5 hockey to start here, Bart. Was that about what you expected for the first period here?
Yeah, it really was, actually. Both teams very well represented in all 3 zones, but both teams working very hard. They understand the situation. Both teams have a lot of pride, and you can tell by the way they played that first period, and I expect that to continue.
Oh, that one slides back through and over to the left wing side is Brown. His pass picked off by Marshall at center. Now it's going to be off the stick of Bassan. Conley was there momentarily. Now in front it goes to Yakish. Of course, Asher Conley, no relation to broadcasting guru John Conley. Bassan plays that one out front as that's knocked away. Conley plays that to the corner. Busby was there for Holt as he plays that one. Back up into the neutral zone. Callahan is there and icing is the call.
All right, well, Stansbury and Sarsland are available for their coaches. Now full complement of players for both of the coaches. Maybe get a little continuity back in the lines. But it's an offensive zone faceoff for this Benilton St. Margaret Red Knight team, and it's going to be John Middlestat against Blake Messenberg.
Over to the left wing side, Luke Middlestat to the corner. John Middlestat and Callahan come together. Steves now from behind the net. Wow, there's these little individual battles. That was crazy. Oh, that's off the mask of Limesand. He's had a couple. One of their goals was scored on the rebound off the mask.
Well, what I always kind of tell my players is if you're going to go high, aim for the ears. And if you miss, you're going to have a lot of openings up top. But he right off either the gobbler or the front of the mask, but Limesand unfazed on that one. But you're right, they are going high on Limesand. That was kind of from a shallow angle, but any shot in this, if you can get it on goal, it's a good shot. Shots are going to be kind of hard to come by.
David Watson, Dominic Argenta on board as well here tonight.
Awesome.
Keep them coming. We'll say hello if we see it.
Thanks for joining us.
Back in behind, there's Langfells with it. Cooper Gay off the end board, shallow angle, that squirts through. Warnert will hustle over, and now that's going to be pulled out of there by Steves. Here he comes back up through center. Gets tugged on there by Messenberg. Steves looks through the slot. Nobody home. Blake takes the carom. Turns away from Warnert. Nice balance and control there by the sophomore forward. Now it's Foley who fishes that one ahead. Now it's going to be Schweitzer with it. Back it across the line. Leaves off for Warnert. Warnert shot in front. Schweitzer takes a couple of swings at it, and that one just missed the mark. Let's take a look real quick, that last goal that scored. Are you going there or are you going to the play? Okay. We'll take a look at the Cooper Gay goal back in the first period for you.
Bunch up and lose their positioning tonight. They've been in the right spots at the right time. Just a couple pretty good shots by the Eden Prairie team. Well, they forced him to the outside, but then the very shallow and he went up under the bar, and I think he went far side, so he threaded the needle on that one. But that was a big goal, number 17 for Cooper Gay. He's on a hot streak. Give him the puck, let him shoot.
Well, I'm one of those believers that he's definitely an next-level player in Cooper Gay, and you shoot the puck like that, you fight off a check like that, I'm watching.
Well, you're going to be challenged, and if you can play through that and still be effective and make the play, you're going to get some attention, but a pretty good offering by the Red Knights. But Eli Andrews, nice job of tracking that puck all the way in. Shots on goal that period, 12 for Eden Prairie, 7 for Benilde St. Margaret's.
So when you get a chance, check out the article that is posted on the mnhockey.tv about the 500 Club. Of course, Lee Smith and Ken Pauley joined the 500 Club with their 500th win back in January, 2 days apart. And we had an extended discussion about their careers and playing each other and being friends. There was even a discussion point about potentially working together.
I was going to say that I could sense that coming, but
Batchelder.
The trifecta with Wags right in the middle of it, being the mediator, so to speak. But that's such a unique situation that it would behoove you to actually check it out. It's interesting stuff.
Well, if they're smart, they'd put me in as their third coach, as the other puck pusher.
There you go.
That one's knocked away by Schweitzer. What?
Nothing. I laughed a little too hard on that, didn't
I know
I?
you did. But pushed aside. Kind of hurt my feelings.
I know. It wasn't my intention.
It's very rare that happens, too.
Right.
Puck is played in wide of the mark. Schweitzer for the Red Knights.
Oh, you were serious? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
No, you would be a benefit to any staff, P-Wagon.
Langenbrunner plays that one over to the near side. Ahead it goes. Stansberry. But what will we do with Ranheim and Peluso and Russo?
Oh, I think they'd find a spot for those guys.
JV back at the line. It's sent into the corner as Schweitzer is there. From the left wing at the line, blocker pad save. That's a tough one as that's sailing toward the top shelf. And nice angle on the blocker, seriously, by Limesand to knock that one up off the netting. Good push here by the Eagles to start this period.
No, indeed. They've come out again with focus, and it's just sustaining that. But you're right. It was a shot from Langenbrunner from the point, but once it gets up over the dasher, you get all the bodies and everything, so you can lose the puck in that situation. So nice job again by Line Center at that up and out of play. 13-14 left in the second period. Eden Prairie up by 1.
Todd Grover all over the camera. Boy, he's on his A game here tonight.
Well, he's always on his A game. It'd be unusual if he wasn't.
He is, isn't he? Gay leans in against Blake, gets the draw, played back around from Sarsland over for Warner. John Middlestad is there, is going to tuck that back in behind. Here's Sarsland for it as he looks up to Gay, reaches back and comes out of the zone. Shot in on goal, quick with the stick is Andrews. That got up on him in a hurry, and off the netting it goes.
Well, indeed it is, but it's a pretty good offering. Obviously, it is from distance, so Eli Andrews didn't have much trouble, but he ramped it up, and I think it might have tried to flirt with the Grant Bessie jersey up hanging in the rafters up here, but it is going to be a face-off in the Eden Prairie zone. So now it looks like it's Benilde St. Margaret's turn to take some time in the offensive zone, put some pressure on Eli Andrews.
Messenberg now. Warner is there. Gay as well. But there's John Middlestad to fight that one out of the zone. Boy, is he having a game. Backing across the line. Blake takes that carom. Steve scores!
Oh, man, that's
just
not
a
fair.
follow through on that one. The puck just kept working its way. And they had numbers. Steve gets it off wing. 3-1 Eden Prairie.
Well, it was John Middlestad that actually started the play, and that was in his own zone. Managed his way through a couple players. Put it on Blake's stick. Blake, very elusive, very smart, great vision out there. Saw Steve's on the right side, and Steve's just had Limesand stretched out. Snuck it into a very small area, but you can see it right here. That's a nice pass by Blake, right on the tape to Steve's. But that's a trifecta of terror. That line is going to be a problem for a lot of potential teams that they face come sections, because they seem to have a nice flow and they work really well together. Tough to defend against.
Well, they do a good job individually with stick battles and keeping pucks alive.
And they're confident,
and finding it to the open, soft spaces. Back up the left wing. Mortensen has Ellings with him. Over skates briefly. He'll turn and shoot. He had Foley up behind the slot. That's Holt now back the other way. Langenbrunner races up into the play. That one off the end boards, knocked away by Limesand. Mortensen is there as he is muscled by Brown to play this back in behind for Holt. Drew Holt will tuck this back in behind for Batchelder. He'll control up the left wing side to the line. Britton wrister, stick save Limesand to the corner. Holt comes away with it. That one gets away from Britton, and it's going to be Andrews to turn this one over to Langenbrunner off the right wing side. From center, Pergandy deflects that one in. It's going to be Luloff coming together with Sarsland. One-on-one. Now Bassan takes over. Nice job by Sarsland to deal with that. Now it's going to be Yakish loses an edge. They'll play that one out front. Luloff is there. He's hammered by Bassan, and the puck is played to the left wing side. Casey's shot, knocked down by Luloff, his shot, and that one into traffic and held on to by Limestad. He saw that through a lot of bodies.
Well, he had to, and it was Casey that took the initial shot, but I believe he was being challenged by one of the Red Knights, and I think it was Jackson Bashan that came out and challenged us. So the puck was kind of fluttering a little bit, and then he got a good rock-solid shot on goal through traffic, so Limestad did a nice job of tracking that puck and following and making that safe face-off to his right.
Pergandy now to face off with Messenberg to the line. There's Luloff back in behind. Stansberry stands up. Sarsland pushed along by Gay. Messenberg comes out with it to the right wing side. Callahan gets away from a check from Stansberry. Now over to the near boards. Warner is there with Gay. Now Pergandy, nice job with the stick to come out of there. Left wing feed for Luloff across center. They want it deep. As he gets stood up by Callahan. NHL, you're going to go for that interference, but they'll play it on here in high school.
Well,
I love it.
Hands came up high, Luloff on Callahan, so maybe it was just balance it out, so they just made it a non-call. I think that was a good non-call.
Take them both, so why bother?
Right.
There's Steves with it. Now it's going to be Messenberg off the glass. Nice ahead there for Warner, but Langfels comes away with it, gives over for Blake. Now John Middlestad across the line. Rister, that one just missed the mark. That came in with juice. Luke Middlestad's shot's blocked. Now Warner will race this one down, but Langfels will get there first as he leaves that off. Here comes Gay in on goal. Lets the shot go. That was blocked by Luke Middlestad. Now it's going to be Blake back up through center ice. Puck rolls on him a bit at the line. Schweitzer stops him and looks back up ice. Blake gets it back. Somehow this is what they do. Knocked away. Langfels off the boards in the corner for John Middlestad. Steves gets a stick on that. Keeps it alive. Brought down on the play. Tom Gertis absolutely beside himself. Up off the glass it goes. Hands went flying in the hair. He had the head bob and all of it.
Kind of an, geez.
Steves across the line. Now it's Schweitzer. Marshall now. Knocked away from him. Nice play by Langenbrunner. Schweitzer in control to the right side. Off the side of that. Benilde faithful thought that one in. You know how they do that when it fools you on the end wall at the XL Energy
They see
Center.
the mesh ripple.
Played back over to the right wing side. Marshall for Conley. They're going to have the hand pass. Wow. 9:12 to go in the second. Big goal there by the Eagles to open up that 2-goal cushion.
Well, indeed it was, but it's just the way they went about their business. But that Middlestad, Steves, and Blake line, a lot of misdirections. A lot of teams tend to get a little aggressive trying to cover them, and they overcommit, so they just do the redirect and kind of go against the grain. But they're very patient, very confident in traffic. Makes it tough for the defending team to defend against that trio.
Exactly. They don't mind you engaging them physically.
No.
Because they just keep the puck moving forward.
And then they follow up with the Riku Brown line with Holt and Batchelder. Not getting any easier. I didn't mean to talk over your point,
More
Pete.
of a speed line here with these two guys. Callahan now puts on the brakes. Sarsland, nice touch pass. Ellings off the boards. Works his way around Busby. Wraps up Busby. Now Foley was there, keeps it alive for Mortensen. They got Ellings open in front. Mortensen back in behind. Rubbed out by Busby. Now Ellings in front. Foley couldn't quite pull the trigger there. Busby is there. He's spun around. No penalty there. As Mortensen will have that one. There's a wrister blocker pass save. Foley plays this one to the hot slot area. That's off Ellings. And now up into the neutral zone. It's lays this one over to Callahan. Ahead it goes to Brown. Brown's checked by Mortensen. Down he goes. Penalty. That's going to be a cross check.
Well, Mortensen just used his stick to knock Riku Brown down. Riku Brown, a pretty big young man. Not easy to take off his skates. But it's Mortensen that's going to go. We'll wait for the official call. Likely, like you said, Pete, it's going to be a cross check. Kind of a penalty that they didn't need to take. But again, they have a challenge to pick up their teammate.
At the end of that play, Brown was having a nice chat with the Benilde St. Margaret's group, and the question was, how is the St. Louis Park Chipotle? And the guy said, hey, they've absolutely turned over the staff. It's amazing. You should go get one after.
Oh, quit it.
That's what they're talking about.
Sure they were.
I had to say it because I chirped Chipotle at the start of the year here.
Oh, it was pretty hard,
That
too.
one, well, I'm back. 4 straight positive experiences.
No.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's totally
sustaining.
They turned it over.
Sustaining. That's what both teams have to do.
Turn it into hockey. Shot it on goal. There's Limestad to make the save.
Well, that was a good offering by Middlestead. Nice low shot, about a foot and a half off. He had Riku Brown waiting in the wings, but Limestad tracked that puck. Riku couldn't get a redirect on it, so Limestad holds on to it. 8:09 left. 1:45 left in the penalty to Mortensen for Benilde.
Luke Middlestead now off the draw. Steves shoots, scores!
Charmed.
He's on fire, short side. You think this guy likes the big stage? I kind of think so.
Well, the thing about it is they focus too much on Middlestead. They focus much on Blake. All of a sudden, Steve gets exposed. You focus too much on Steves. Then Middlestead gets some space. But that's a hat trick for Steves tonight. 2 goals in a row, 27 on the season. But now it's 4-1. It's getting a little more daunting. We're about the halfway point of this game. And Benilde St. Margaret's in their own backyard, down by 3 goals. That one was a short side one, about a foot off the ice. Not an easy save to make, but that's what goal scorers do, is their pucks seem to find the openings, and that's what Steve's found the magic tonight.
Here's Casey over for Langfells. That one's off the gear of Plant. At center, Conley with it. His wrister's blocked by Casey. Gets back up on the puck. Bassan plays off the boards. Marshall tried to find Bassan on his way through. Holt plays off the boards. Conley is there. And now it's Riku Brown, the big frame over for Holt across the line, watched by Sarsland. Blocker pad save made by Limestad. Batchelder plays the body there. Here comes Conley, 1-on-4 through center. Wise enough there to play it deep. He's going to follow it in. Langfells wrestles him down. Penalty coming up. I guess they're going to go interference there.
Well, you got a little aggressive on that. I don't think Langfells really agrees with it, but they're going to go holding on that. It could have been interference, could have been holding, kind of a pick your poison, so to speak. But it's just good effort by Conley to get down there and force him to make a play. So now it's going to be Benilde on the power play. And this is a good power play that really needs to be effective on this. And it's not necessarily scoring, but it's changing the momentum of this game and gathering some of it back. That's what they at least need to do on this power play. If they can punch one in, that's the best case scenario.
Minor penalty has been assessed. Sterling Eagles number 24, Cam Langfells. 2 minutes of our holding. Time of the penalty, 9:44.
Langfells for a hold at 9:44, your official call there. Now it's going to be Langenbrunner around the boards to center. Conley will let that go for Sarsland back in behind the net. So you got Conley and Sarsland on the back line with Marshall and Bassan and Gay up front. Here comes Marshall with the snapper that deflects in front. Knocked away by Gay off the stick of John Middlestead. Wrestled away by Busby. He finds an opening and sends that one back into the Red Knight zone. 1:32 to go in the man advantage. 6:45 in the period with Sarsland ready to go. They took away that feed. He's got to regroup and start over. Nice job by Holt there. Beautiful.
Well, they got a lot of speed on the penalty killers for Eden Prairie.
Now it's Marshall from the left wing. Over to the right side. Bassan looked ahead to Conley. Back into Red Knight territory it goes. And, wow. Limestad forced to cover it up. That's as good a PK as you're going to get right there.
Well, and still a minute, 5 seconds left for the Red Knights to make something happen, but it's been kind of punchy so far. They really haven't found any flow or rhythm other than that one shot with Marshall coming up the wing, but it's really been a pretty good penalty kill for Eden Prairie. Not a great power play so far, but they still have plenty of time.
Schweitzer now back in behind the net, puts on the brakes. As he'll leave back in behind for Callahan, who will work the puck through center away from Blake, over for Messenberg. Messenberg will guide it around to the right wing side. Callahan stays on that. Blake quickly gathers in. That's off Schweitzer's glove and into the bench area. But they're going to take it inside.
Well, and I think that Schweitzer just saved the linesman a little bit of pain because he actually stopped that puck. That was kind of targeted for the linesman, just trying to make it clear. But Schweitzer did a nice job. Maybe they're just giving him that concession because he protected the linesman.
Well, I think they're saying because he was inside the line.
No, that was kind of
sure.
a bad joke. But Lee Smith tries to put Middlestead and Steves out, but the refs turn him back.
Back over off the far side again. A nice battle off the boards. That one by Luke Middlestead. Goes the length of the ice back to center. Jackson Blake throws that back into the Red Knight zone. Now it's going to be Schweitzer with it. 29 to go on the power play. Red Knights have been stonewalled here on this power play on entry. Now Yakish back in across the line, watched by Casey. Yakish gets up for Messenberg, bumps the boards, back in behind. Mortensen is there. He'll play for Schweitzer, left point. Schweitzer over for Messenberg, up high on the right wing side. Messenberg, Schweitzer wanted the one-timer. Instead it's Yakish off the boards with 5 seconds to go. Schweitzer gets it back. Ooh, we want to push that one through. Messenberg looking for Yakish. And there's Blake to break that one up and send it the length of the ice, but they're going to get the icing call on that one. Back into the Eagles zone we go.
Well, and Langenbrunner wants a little qualification from the referee because the player was still in the box when the puck was over half the ice, but he's not going to win that one. It is going to come all the way down into the Eden Prairie zone. What a great kill it was for Eden Prairie. They were really almost the better team on that one. It was Benilde that just get zoned, but the position for Eden Prairie and the challenge was just too much. They really didn't get the shots that they were looking for, so opportunity missed for the Red Knights. 5:11 left in the second period.
Eagles moved their feet very well and took away passing lanes. Batchelder has Holt with them. Shoots. There's a stick save made, knocked away by Like. Lime Sand gets the big goal stick down on that one. They look in front there. That's Thompson to play left wing side. Misses Foley. Now Langfelds plays up the rail. Believe me, it's down there below the sea of students in the student section. Now it's Sarsland with it. Back for Like. Like for Thompson across the line. Looks over for Ellings as that one's knocked off his stick back in behind the net. Batchelder comes away with it out of the corner. He's chopped at by Thompson. Brown now looks ahead. Like with it. Holt. Now Batchelder shoots. Oh, and a nice save there. Nearly had the blocker pad side. Eagles play this one to center. This new look line here for Lee Smith's addition. Brown, Batchelder, and Holt have been really good.
Doesn't look too bad, does it?
Now Marshall works on his man. Up to center. Steves with Blake. Steves wins the battle. Loads it, shoots. That's a nice blocker pad save by Limesand as he fought that one off. Blake works his way through traffic. Oh, that was, who do you call it on?
Well, I thought that actually it was Blake that drew that penalty. If it's just Adam Marshall that's going to go, Blake did a nice job selling that one, but if both, that would make a little bit more sense. It was Blake that actually engaged, but Marshall, with a little help from Blake, brought him down, but it looks like it's just going to be on Benilde St. Margaret. So nice job by the young sophomore forward for Eden Prairie to draw that penalty on the power play.
Big play here in the second period. Red Knights don't want to go down by 4 going into the third. That wouldn't be a good idea.
No, but they have Carson Limesand in goal, and if there's a goaltender that can pick him up in this situation, it could be him. He had Steve's point blank from the right hash mark, and he made a blocker save. Steves knew where he wanted to go, put it where he wanted, but Limesand made a point blank save one-on-one against Steves, who's already got 3. So it could be 5-1 right now if it weren't for Carson Limesand, but he's going to have to be their best penalty killer. We said that before, but he's going to have to make a couple pretty big saves.
John Middlestad to draw in against Blake Messenberg.
4 forwards, 1 defense for Eden Prairie.
Steves. He'll take this one up high. That's knocked away there by Messenberg, but kept alive by Luke Middlestad. Backdoor for John Middlestad. Wrister off the glass. They wanted to pick that corner. Luke Middlestad gets it back. That's off Messenberg. Knocked back into the Red Knight zone. Backdoor, that missed Steves as he loves that off wing. Back into the corner for Steves. Watched by Schweitzer. Now Brown is there. John Middlestad. Bumped by Yakish. Brown with it. Red Knight player was heaped up. That's Schweitzer. I think John Middlestad's going to go with 4-on-4 for 23 and 3:20 to go in the.
He actually looked guilty too. No, it's going to be Riku Brown. I was going to say, apparently just feels some sympathy pains going on, but it's going to be Riku Brown that's going to go to the box, but it's going to be 4-on-4. A lot of space out there. I think Benilde St. Margaret's has some pretty good speed, but this Eden Prairie team has really kind of flexed their muscles as far as speed and been the quicker team tonight. But a lot of opportunity here for Benilde St. Margaret's with a lot of space on the ice to create and put some shots on Eli Andrews. We haven't said Eli Andrews' name very much this period.
No, we really haven't. There's Callahan with it off the draw, and a good puck battle there by Batchelder. Holt to the net. Batchelder to Holt. That one just missed the mark. Busby walks. Backdoor. Oh, and that was Batchelder had the whole net rolled off the heel and up off the back of the boards. Batchelder, Langenbrunner, Busby. Now it's Batchelder. This is 4-on-4. Langenbrunner. There's a shot by Holt. Stick save. Limesand under siege are the Red Knights. Now Ellings will run to center with it. Just gets it through. Now Batchelder, by the way, we've seen a lot of these games for the Eagles all year long. Best I've seen Carter Batchelder all year. He'll let it go. That one high and wide of the mark. He's had some good ones, but this is right on. Busby. Now Holt. Back in behind. Sarsland is there. 27 to go, 4-on-4. Now it's Ellings with it. He has Bassan with him to the right wing side. Ellings takes it over to the left wing side and guides this one back in behind. Busby comes away with it. Up for Holt to the right wing side. He's watched by Schweitzer. Stick saves, turned off the glass. Now it's Yakish with it as he'll race this one up to the right wing side. Angles one across from Mortensen. Touch pass. Rebound. Whoa, what a save by Andrews. Now it's 5-on-4 for the Red Knights for 32 more. Stansberry, now it's knocked away from him. Callahan to Messenberg. Over for Schweitzer. Schweitzer with it to the right wing side for Yakish. Lays that one to the neutral zone. That's off Stansberry. Now it's Mortensen turned away. He had Callahan open to the far side. Now it's going to be Yakish instead. Tried to play that one along the line. Oh, here comes Middlestad on the train. Trying to break away. Scores! Oh, they suck him in behind on the change. Good play by the Eagles. Or a mistake that turned into a goal. 5-1 Eden Prairie.
Well, I think it was a mistake that turned into a goal. It's just no sense of urgency. This Benilde St. Margaret's, they're regrouping. Instead of getting it deep and going to work, they're regrouping and trying to make that pristine zone entrance. But it was Eden Prairie that came out of the puck, just put it in stride on Middlestad. You can see going in all alone. And I thought Limesand actually did that pretty well, but that's some soft hands by John Middlestad to score that goal. That's a second goal of this game, and it brings them up to 17 for the season. So the big boppers have come to play for the Eden Prairie team. To dovetail off the Batchelder part of it, moving him to wing probably takes a lot of the responsibilities off his shoulders. He doesn't have to be the center that comes back into the D zone. Gives him a little more freedom, and he's taking advantage of it.
Well, they got a guy like Riku Brown that can throw the leather and get the turnovers.
Absolutely.
It's perfect. In on goal, another long shot that's gobbled up by Limesand. 4-goal lead with 1:06 to go.
I'm not.
We entered this period as a 2-1 game. Now it's 5-1.
Well, and I'm not sure I'm language on this Benilde St. Margaret team. They look very lethargic right now, like they're almost defeated, where you want to roll up your sleeves and work a little bit harder. They're working hard, but they can work a little bit smarter. But they're 4 good shots. They have the capability to get back into this. If they can net one before this period, make it a 3-shot game, it's going to change the complexion. But Eden Prairie playing so well defensively, it's not going to be easy for the Red Knights.
Callahan gets away from Brown. Nice work out of the corner there. Callahan up to the right wing side. Ooh, they got Brown for a trip there.
It's just a line to the penalty box, so to speak, but it's going to be Riku Brown again. Just got the stick down in the wickets, but 55 seconds left. And the benefit for Benilde St. Margaret's is they can indeed put out their primaries as far as the power play, but Lee Smith can in turn put out his primaries as well. It does break it in half, but not a bad way, assuming that there isn't another penalty or a goal scored. Starting the period with the power play is not a bad way to start, but they got some work to do before this period's up.
Batchelder the draw, hard around the glass, and that's going to be back into the Red Knight zone for Sarsland to retrieve. Here's Marshall from the left wing. Across the line he goes. Conley comes away with it, down low, in front. Oh, and that was Gay who had an open net. That deflects wide. Marshall, nice patience there. Shallow angle shot, turned aside by Andrews. Batchelder will get it, finds an opening, sends it the length of the ice.
But they got a couple good shots. That's something to build on. It was a couple pretty good offerings. Eli Andrews hadn't seen a lot of action, made a couple pretty good saves.
Now Gay from center. Bassan takes over. Across the line, Steves watches him with 7 seconds to go. Back to center. John Middlestad playing to the final buzzer. Conley now, rinked wide for Marshall. And what a period for the Eden Prairie Eagles. They continue to find their groove in their game, and they pick up 3 more goals and take the 5-1 lead into the break.
Well, indeed, and it was Steves that scored his 26th, 27th, and then John Middlestad. So very good period for Eden Prairie as they kind of blown this open. I hope that Benilde St. Margaret's can kind of regroup and play 17 minutes of strong hockey. They just look like a little bit dejected. Time to go in, regenerate some energy, try to get some positives going, come out with some focus. But Eden Prairie just got to keep playing Eden Prairie Eagles hockey. It's nice to see them back. They're playing a far more sound 3-zone game than they did against that Minnetonka Skipper team.
More high school hockey continues right here at the MNHockey.tv.
You know, it's pretty easy to be proud of the fact that we've been in continuous operation from almost 120 years. Now, obviously, Enobec Construction started that, and they're a big part of it. You know, since then, in the 20 years that Tradition's been around, we've built on to that legacy, and you know, I think we've created our own legacy and our own brand, which is pretty special and unique.
We've kind of coined the phrase between all the nutrition companies and led by the bank's Keystone program. However much money we make, we give 10% of our earnings to the community and lots of time as well.
Our business model is centered around building communities, you know, whether that's, you know, providing the dirt work or building the houses or providing the financing. We're really, our success is really part of the overall community success. The fact that we live in the communities that our customers live in as well. We're side by side with them. And really our promise to our customers would be that we reinvest back into the communities and we help make the community stronger, where if you're doing business with, you know, out-of-state competitor, those dollars are going out of state, but we're putting them right back in the community.
It would break your heart to see what we pull out of here every day. We're out here 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, cleaning up the water.
Probably dump that, man.
You guys need some help?
Sure.
yeah.
No way. JJ Watt. What's up, man?
How's it going?
I don't believe it. Good.
JJ, come on.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome
Come on.
aboard, baby.
Isn't that for me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So what are you guys doing out here? What's the whole cleanup about?
Well, we're just doing the right thing. It's a kind of a thankless job. It's out of sight, out of mind. Somebody's got to do it.
What's the dream for the cleanup project?
You know, my dream is for people to think twice before they throw something out.
No problem, boys. I thought I was going to have to come over there and show you how to do it.
That's not going to smell good.
Not pleasant.
Great play, baby.
What would you do without these guys?
I would be in trouble. I don't know what I would do. These guys are everything to me.
You ever catch anything? Brackish waters up in here? I've caught castaneted shrimp. You eat them? No. It's been a good day, fellas. I appreciate you guys having me out here. It's eye-opening to see all the trash and everything that you guys pick up.
For me, it's really not just a job. You know, it's a passion.
I appreciate you having me out. You can swing a mean net, man.
Appreciate you helping us. It was a long, hot day.
You aren't kidding. It's hot. Talk about it. Yeah. The heat's a little different than it is on the field.
Hockey.tv continues its coverage of high school hockey right here in the state of Minnesota, and we are proud to be sponsored by Robert Thomas Homes, part of the Tradition Company's family. And joining us here between periods is Carol Griffith, the VP of Sales and Marketing. Carol, like I say, it's our annual checkup. I'm so glad to be speaking with you about Robert Thomas Homes. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Pete. Thanks.
That's good to hear. You know, Robert Thomas Homes is a very unique community of homes, and I've been through them. They're amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about what Robert Thomas Homes are and where you're located and how those are put together?
Sure. Robert Thomas Homes is a locally owned, award-winning, semi-custom home builder. We build homes or new homes throughout communities in the Twin Cities. We offer a variety of products that appeal to a variety of homeowners. You've got your heritage and villa collection that work well for the first-time move-up buyer. our Tradition Collection, which is more of an executive move-up product, as well as our villas that would be single-level living in the empty nester product line.
Where are you located? Do you have various projects that you're working right now, or are you pretty located in one area?
Yep, we have a variety of communities throughout the Twin Cities. Our flagship community is Spirit of Branch and Farm, which is located in Lakeville. We also have the Harvest in Chaska, Tributary on Foster Lake in St. Michael, Creekside Hills in Plymouth, as well as Highcroft in Woodbury.
And you mentioned a couple of different types of potential buyers. I heard move-ups in there. And, you know, if you look at a specific target to what Robert Thomas Homes attracts, what do you see that market being?
Really, we appeal to a wide range. Our single-family village collection heritage is more move-up, even sometimes first-time home buyers. We also offer our single-level living, the villas that appeal to a wide range of empty nesters. So those are two really solid products for us. And then the third is our Tradition Collection, which is more of an executive. You might see that product ranging anywhere from $700,000 to over $1 million.
And then in terms of the differences between, let's say, I'm looking to buy a home versus build a home, what are some of the key things I need to consider for that being the right fit for me to actually build and go from there?
I would say, number one, do your research. Go online, check resources, referrals, reviews. I think that's really important for people nowadays. They can gain a lot of information from that. Check with past customers. Also, I think when you're looking at building a home, number one, look at how long you're going to live there and understand that you're not necessarily going for cheaper is not better. I think it's really important that you do look at quality products and quality finishes, because your home, you intend to live there for a long time. It's the largest single investment you're going to make in your lifetime. So you want to make sure that it really withstands the test of time for years to come.
And finally, you have so many great properties, and if I want to research these as I'm doing the things you suggested, how do I get to that easiest? What's my quickest path online to find you?
Definitely visit our website, which is robertthomashomes.com. You can gain information on our communities, our pricing, our quick move-in homes. We also have interactive floor plans. All of that is available on robertthomashomes.com.
Okay, that's great, and we appreciate your time. Carol, good luck to you, and have an incredible winter, and let's enjoy it and get to spring, which we all love so much. It'll come soon enough,
great.
Right? All right, that was Carol Griffith, Vice President of Sales and Marketing from Robert Thomas Homes. We'll be back with more right after this.
And we welcome you back to the St. Louis Park Rec Center. We're going to take a look at, do you want all 6 of them, guys, or do you want, what do you want? Do you want the 3 goals from the second period, Barty, or do you want all 6?
It's up to you.
Why don't we go with all 6?
Oh, man.
For those of you that are just joining us late, we can take you through how we got to where we are right now.
All right, David, can you turn that a little bit this way so I can actually see what we're speaking of?
Oh, Bart Archer.
My old guy eyes.
Look at the demanding Bart Archer.
Right. Well, not demanding. And this is the first one. This is the 129 mark, and it started with Blake up to Langenbrunner and over to John Middlestead. He had that one early goal for Eden Prairie, gave him a lot of energy, and then things kind of settled down a little bit.
We might want to look at that again because it looks like the graphic was up there. So
and it's a nice graphic, though.
Yeah, live TV.
We're going to clear that one out.
Want to take a look one more time? With it, gets a stick inside on Langenbrunner, back up to the right wing side it goes. Now it's Steves, he can snipe. Off with a drop pass to Langenbrunner. John Middlestead, score! Feed, and he just handled it.
Yeah, I've been a little soft at that blue line coming down Eden Prairie with numbers.
Your next one?
Next one, it's John. It originated from John Middlestead, and he took a good shot from here. Middlestead takes that shot from here, but the rebound comes out shallow angle with Steve's a nice redirect into the open goal. That made it 2-0, and that was at the 9:29 mark on the power play.
I'd like to have analytics on Steve's where most of his goals are scored on the off wing. I swear. I bet you out of his 27, 24 are on the off wing.
And not a lot of cheapies on that either, but that improves the angle. That's why. Now we're going to go in
Cooper Gay gives the Red Knights life with his 17th.
At the 11:02 mark, you're going to see him racing in on the left side. Nice push to the outside, but just a shallow angle. Pick the far corner upper side. That's what goal scorers do.
They got there in a hurry.
That gave Benilde some energy. We're going to look at that one more time. Eden Prairie defense didn't take a great angle, but forced them at least to the outside. The support came in, just not in time. But Cooper gets threaded the needle. Now it's 2-1, and that's how the period ended. That was at the 11:02 mark.
Floodgate open here in
did they ever.
second period. We'll start with this here.
Well, it started with John Middlestead coming out of some traffic and put that shot, but there's Blake over to Steves. It just... Traffic doesn't concern these guys.
You know, when you watch this, the first initial shot was blocked there, and then there's another Eagle, and then he gets it through. Looks like Steve threads the needle, and then he gets there in Barry's part.
Well, in Benilde's positioning wasn't too terrible. It was just a really good play. But then at the 8:58 mark, it originated from Luke Middlestead on this one, so he's going to eventually get that puck right here. And he's going to send it off the wall, and then Steves is going to come in and just put one short side about a foot off the ice. Tough one for Limestone. We're going to look at it again.
That's a heartbreaker there.
Well, it's a big face-off win. That's where possession becomes so important. But Steves cuts out, like you said, the left shot on the right side.
And Steves is rewarded for winning that battle off the boards there that got it up to Luke Middlestead. That got it back to him that buried.
And then we're going to kind of do a bit of a replay. It might not look the same, but it is the same, and it's Luke Middlestead that actually sent that up to John Middlestead. Middlestead in all alone, spread Carson Lamson out and went up under the bar. So he didn't have a lot to shoot at. He didn't have a lot of net to look at, but he just made what he had count, and goal scorers seemed to find a way, and John Middlestead. That's the second tally of the night, 17th overall this season. So the big boppers for this Eden Prairie team have come out to play. They're 2 goal scorers. One has 3, one has 2. Are they going to round out the scoring with a little bit more balance, or the big bopper's going to keep firing? But 105 still on the penalty to Riku Brown for Eden Prairie, so Benilde comes out with the man advantage.
So how did John Middlestead get so open there, you may ask? Well, it was a change where they may have probably left a little sooner than they should have.
Yeah.
And he snuck in behind, and, you know, a nice job by the Eagles to deny entry. And I think the one thing that the Red Knights like to do is play off the rush. They're very good at it. Their defensemen are really strong at moving the puck, but the Eagles have really taken that part of the game away, and the Red Knights are forced to play it deep back in behind the dots. So, you know, look, you got 17 minutes, you're down by 4, and you're not going to score 4 in one shot. You know, the Eagles still have yet to come out. We're waiting on them.
Well, just win the period if we're Benilde St. Margaret. Get something positive going, get some mojo working. But one thing about Benilde is they started to chase the play in their own zone a little bit. It's from effort. Everybody wants to kind of stem the tide and make the play. But when you take yourself out of position, you're stressing everybody else out, and you're actually compromising the common goal. So just stay in your position and do a little bit better job in your own zone as far as defending and getting those busy sticks in the passing lanes. But Eden Prairie just seems to have found that successful rhythm.
They have, and, you know, keep in mind, 3 games remain for each of these teams coming up this week. This is the first of 3 for the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights. They're going to be heading here to this very arena on Thursday. We'll have that game for you live at the MNHockey.tv. Great battle between them and St. Louis Park, the crosstown rivalry. That has section implications on it big time.
Well, plus
a couple of Section 6 AA combatants going at it there.
And they share different benches, but they share the same venue. I mean, there's a lot of emotion that's going to be in that game. That promises to be a good one. And the O's actually have a pretty solid goaltender that can be in the conversation of one of the better goalies in the state for sure.
Bloomington Kennedy closes out the Red Knights schedule. Meanwhile, it's off to St. Michael Albertville for a late conference game for the Eagles. Close one there. And then they finish at home at 3 o'clock on Saturday. We'll have that game on the MNHockey.tv against Wayzata. We close out our regular season coverage Saturday night with Edina and Minnetonka. It's always a historic matchup between those two teams. We love it. It's a lot of fun. Batchelder scores! They waste little time. They transition. They go shelf for the 6-1 lead.
That's 20 seconds into the period. That's shorthanded as well. Still 40 seconds left. Ground penalty. And but that's a pretty nice goal. Just picked the upper corner. And for Batchelder, that's going to be 13 the Baker's dozen for Shorty. So now he's got a power play of Shorty and a game winner as well. But Batchelder showing his wares tonight, really turning in a sound performance like you stated, P. Wagner. But Benilde St. Margaret just has to kind of get back to playing Red Knight hockey. They were so effective in the first period, and they just seem to kind of lost their way a little bit.
Red Knight power play now for 30 more seconds with Sarsland to Bisson left wing side. Plays over for Marshall. Marshall turns and plays this one back in behind. Langenbrunner look out into the bench area. Wow, Gertis. I mean, I've never seen him move that fast.
Well, I
didn't know he was capable.
Well, he's got Axel Rosenlund that actually made a blocker save on that. The rebound dropped right below his feet. So nice job of controlling the rebound and protecting your coach.
When are they going to make coaches wear helmets like in baseball?
Well, I'm sure that the conversation's been brought up many times.
The MSHL does not mandate that, though.
No.
But the Legion level does. Believe me, I've got mine. Lots of pine tar on it.
It's a Jofa.
Sarsland with it. No.
Oh, your baseball helmet.
Yeah,
okay, I got you. Pine tar kind of gave it away.
Sarsland with it. Plays this to the left wing side. Bassan turns and looks this back over for Gabe. Attempt. Shallow angle. Tried to play that one out front as it's going to be Steve it now. He looks ahead. Here comes Blake across the line. Blake will hold it, shoot. Oh, he nearly found the top shelf there. We had all sorts of time to shoot that puck. John Middlestad plays that one off the board. Steves back up for Langfels. Rister, that's deflected. Marshall swats that over to the near boards. John Middlestad races that one down. He'll let a quick shot go into the crest, and a nice save made by Limesand.
Well, they're not helping their goaltender much as far as Benilde Margaret's very soft. It was Blake that gained the zone and just kept walking and walking in. He got to the right hash mark and finally let one go, and Limesand made the save, but it just seems like this Benilde team is waiting for something to happen or somebody to step up. It's up to the leaders on this team to step up and lead the way and get them out of these doldrums, but I don't like the body language on Benilde. They're too good of a team to have this kind of showing.
Stansbury shallow angle. There's a chance by Pergandy that's turned aside by Limesand. Up to the left wing side. Britton pad save there. Ellings now. He had Mortensen in front. Stansbury gets chopped at there. And now it's going to be behind the net for Britton. Mortensen is there. Pergandy ahead for Luloff. Now it's going to be Schweitzer in to help him as he's going to take back in behind. Stansbury on him. And now it's going to be Schweitzer with it. Mortensen looks rink wide. Nice job with the stick there. Terrific play by Langenbrunner. Knocks that one down as it's going to be Foley to swat that one in behind. Andrews with it. Britton is there as he plays this one ahead for Luloff as it's sent back in behind the net. Sarsland will have Brown on him. Nice job to escape out of there. Left wing touch pass. Messenberg from Gay up the left wing side. Here's Messenberg, drop pass for Gay. Blocker pad save. Now it's going to be Messenberg that's bothered there. Now Holt plays this one up through the neutral zone. Picked up by Luke Middlestad for Batchelder. Callahan comes away with it. Batchelder, wrister, glove save made by Limesand as he hangs onto that one. With 13:59 to go here in the third period. Yes, it is 6-1 Eden Prairie. The game that was 2-1 after the first period.
Well, and that shift was probably Benilde's best shift in about 12 minutes of playing time. They actually had a nice zone exit. They had some sequences, got some shots on goal. If they can kind of mimic that or build on that, they can kind of get something positive going, but not a lot of positive for this Red Knight team tonight, but that's just because Eden Prairie's played so soundly in all zones tonight.
Eden Prairie certainly has responded from a game they weren't happy with against Minnetonka, a game which I felt Minnetonka played. If they play that way, they could say, hey, we could be state champions. And, you know, the Red Knights, same thing. I mean, they're playing against an Eden Prairie team here that could say, hey, you know what? Eden Prairie says we could be state champions with the way we're playing
Absolutely.
tonight. So,
well, the thing about Minnetonka is the seniors stepped up. Teddy Lagerbach showed a lot of hustle. I mean, Miller played very well in the back line. So the leaders led the way for Minnetonka, and they actually sustained 51 minutes of good, sound, solid hockey. And that's something that the Red Knights have yet to solve that puzzle. It looked like they were kind of there. This is too good of a team. Yeah, just tonight.
Back up to the line. Now they're going to find Marble down low as he gets that. There's a quick shot that's fanned on there by Peltier. Now it's going to be Schweitzer. He's got Marshall with him. Yakish, a quick slapper that's wide of the mark. That one just misses. They score! Down low, Asher Conley takes the puck off and boards and slams it home for the 6-2 deficit. We'll see if that's the igniter for Red Knights. Big goal here early on in the third period.
Well, and I'm kind of surprised I had to take a double look at my stats because Asher Conley does so many good things for this Benilde team. That's his first tally of the year. Some traffic in front of Eli Andrews, but they stayed with the play and they forced them to try to make a play, but they netted one, so something positive to build on.
One of the things that Ken, Paulie, and I spoke about in Paulie's podcast was about how Conley came into this week with a ton of helpers, and he's an incredible distributor. And he picks up a goal right there down low. Now it's Callahan with it as he is watched by John Middlestat. Sarsland will give off to Foley, off the boards for Ellings. He'll have Mortensen with him. Drop pass, misses the mark. There's Blake with it ahead for John Middlestat through center. He'll look to the forehand as he's watched by Sarsland, who guides him into the corner. Now Steve's in to help out on the tape of Mortensen as he takes over. Now Foley left wing side. Langfell's lost an edge but recovers neatly. Now Sarsland gathers in from the right wing side. He carries this one to a shallow angle. There's a shot in on goal as that one was stopped by Andrews.
Well, it was a nice decision by Sarsland to follow up the play. He didn't have a lot of help except for far side, and they were trailing the play, but he walked in. But as Eli Andrews did, probably 3 or 4 feet beyond the blue, so he took all the angle away, held on to that one face off to his left. Very aggressive play by the Eden Prairie goaltender, but made the save. Very important situation. But if Yakish and Sarsland and Schweitzer and those guys can get involved in the play, they can really kind of change how Eden Prairie's going to have to defend. Might not be a bad plan.
Batchelder now through center with Yakish watching him. Holt shot up over the top of the glass. Karen picked up by Gay through center. Now he finds Messenberg. Messenberg tried to feed Gay to the slot. Look out, Warner was there. Now it's Brown back up through center for Holt. Holt will race away off to the right wing side. Schweitzer rides him to the corner, but they find Brown down low in the slot areas. He's now checked by Yakish. Love the size mismatch. It doesn't matter to Yakish.
He's not afraid of anything.
Schweitzer, tough player. Now across the line. Nice job by Warner to keep the line. Messenberg, Warner. Ooh, quick wrist shot. Rebound, that one off the side of the net. Now it's played back in behind. Schweitzer off the glass. Glove down by Messenberg to the corner. Here's Warner now. Played off the boards. Holt comes away with it. Now stepping up is Langenbrunner. They play that one rink wide behind Batchelder as they're going to guide this one back in behind the net. Callahan is there. That's knocked away. Back in behind the net. Yakish is there. They'll play off to the left wing. Conley to center. Now it's Langenbrunner with it. Plays over for Britton, who controls in the neutral zone. Plays this in behind the net. Limesand sets up for Pergandy. Now it's Yakish with it. He looks ahead. Long pass knocked down, but there's Foley to guide that one in back in behind the net. Britton gets there. Marshall on him. Now it's Stansberry there. Marshall again. He's stopped by Langenbrunner. Pergandy is there. Nice check by Foley. Plays the body there. Off the boards to center. And now it's going to be Callahan with it. He gives back for Sarsland. Sarsland up ice. Leaves off for Bassan. He'll race this one into the corner. Stays strong on that puck. Back in behind. Langenbrunner looks to make a ring there as he's checked on the play. Over off the right wing side. Too far for Stansberry. Now it's going to be Sarsland with it as he turns up ice. Looks for Marshall. Off his stick. Busby plays over for Casey. Back into the Eagle zone, or the Benilde zone, by the way, with 10:07 to go. Foley is there. Blake now positions and plays to the corner, but picked up by Callahan. Chips the glass. Casey gloves down. Sends right back in. Limesand goes paddle down. Doesn't like the look there, and he's going to cover that one up with the face-off inside the zone.
Well, we're just a tick under, 6 ticks under 10 minutes, so 9:54 to go in this third period. It is now 6-2. And in a perfect world, there's still plenty of time for Benilde St. Margaret's, but Eden Prairie just playing too well defensively. So, again, just win the last 10 minutes of this game if you're a Benilde St. Margaret fan. And if it sounds like I'm ripping on the Red Knights, I'm not. I like this squad. I have great aspirations for success on this team. But it's just when you see them not doing the things that they should be doing, it kind of gets frustrating, and I don't mean to call them out. I'm off the soapbox now.
Back out front it goes, and that's held on to by Limesand.
Well, he's made a couple of he's been called upon quite a bit tonight, probably more so than we thought was going to happen. But Eden Prairie, again, they just roll line after line after line. And now it's the Middlestat, Blake, and Steve's line for this Benilde team to contend with.
John Middlestat in to take the draw. Steve's a quick shot. Nice draw win there by Middlestat. And that goes down the pillow of Limesand with the face-off again. Ellings off the draw. Callahan is there. Ellings again. Bumps this one back in behind the net. Mortensen now through center as he's going to be watched the corner by Busby. Back in behind. Now it's going to be Foley. Knocked off his stick. Play to the right wing side. There's a nice play by Blake. Foley hustles his way all the way back to him. He's going to hit whoever he can. Finally, that's John Middlestat. The turnover forced. Now it's going to be Sarsland in across line. Mortensen to the net. Loads that one up. Mortensen, that one misses the mark. Now Steves with it. Blake watched by Schweitzer. Taken away by Sarsland. Puck sits in the slot. Steves turns and shoots. Nice save there. Limesand. Now Blake again. Steves turns again. Nice read there by the goaltender Carson. Limesand is, Steves does such a good job of opening up and shooting from wherever he is.
And he has to be on point, know where he is at times on the ice. But one thing, just kind of a bit of a as far as Red Knights, it was Blake that had the puck, and there were 4 Red Knights that converged on him, leaving a lot of space for everybody else. Those are the things that I'm talking about. Just do your job. But it's out of effort. They're trying to make something happen, but you can't bunch up. Otherwise, too much space for the Eden Prairie team to work their magic.
Like now to the right wing for Geertsen. Luke Middlestad plays that back in behind. Like again will counter back to the near corner for Schweitzer. That misses Geertsen on the breakout. Now it's going to be Cam Langfell's back into his own zone as he's watched on the play and plays up to the near boards. Luke Middlestad flips that one through center. Bounding puck. Well, they say that Like could have had that. They're going to say no ice on that play. There's Like. Now he'll have to hurry up because he's got the speedy Drew Holt all over him. Holt now with Batchelder taken away there out of the zone. That by Woodford as he'll play this one down the line. Langfells is there. Cam Langfells over for Holt. Now it's Gay with it, forces the turnover, tries to work his way through the defense, and Luke Middlestad stays on it. Up to the line, there's a slapper, dribbles into that, nearly redirected through the pillows of Andrews. Now it's going to be Messenberg with it. His team trails by 4. Would love to get one right about now. Callahan for Messenberg. He'll walk off the right wing side. Didn't like what he had. Gives that back up to Callahan. Snapper in on goal. Andrews with a nice read. Gets the catch glove out and makes the save.
Well, really some nice work by the Red Knights. Nice gutsy play by Callahan to hold that line and keep that puck in traffic and get it back to Messenberg. But pretty good sequence of movement by this Benil St. Margaret's team and a nice offering to Eli Andrews. But once again, received that puck in area rebound. 7:24 left in the third period. 4-goal advantage for Eden Prairie.
Sectional play begins next week for a lot of these hockey clubs, all of them actually, and it's win and stay, lose and go home. Only 8 get to go to the state tournament from each class, total is 16, and it's a whole different world as these games start to take on more and more intense meetings. Every shift, every turnover, every power play, face off, you can feel it and cut the tension with a knife. I'm looking forward to taking in a lot of those games, and we'll be covering many of them from a news perspective at the mnhockey.tv. I can see my phone blowing up right now. You doing the game? You're doing the game? No, I'm not. Back off the end boards.
You can't do them
We
all.
may be doing state tournament audio. We'll find out about that in the next couple of days. We'll see. Back from the corner. Yakish with it. That one's knocked down with the skate of Pergandy. Schweitzer bumps the boards. Now it's Gay inside out. Want to let a quick shot go. Now Yakish back at center. He looks, he's being bothered by Stansberry, who gets a stick in on him. Nice strong stride there by Yakish. Stayed with it, holds it and shoots. That's blocked by Britton. And up to the left wing side they go with Steves. It's Blake. He goes inside out on that play. And Schweitzer with it. Plays over for Warnert. Looked over to the left wing for Conley, pulled that out of the air. Nice play there. Conley down into the corner, watched by Casey behind the net for Busby, who takes over for the Eagles. Busby's right wing pass was off a pair of skates. That might have been Conley. Bassan now down the wall. Looked for Marshall. He plays the body on John Middlestad, and Blake will walk this one up the left wing side. Blake played this one to the slot area, and now Conley leaves up for Bassan. He's got Marshall on the left wing, turns it into the 2-on-1. Tried to feed that one through, but great effort and commitment on the back check there. Now it's going to be Blake. Now they've got a 2-on-1 back the other way. Steves is open. Blake holds it, Shoots. They wanted to go high glove. They didn't get it. 5:24 to go in the period. Back up into the neutral zone. Luke Middlestat with it. He's checked by Marshall. Delayed offside and offside your call. So bring it back outside the zone.
Well, the linesman was in the mix on that one, so I think he might have inhibited the progress of Benil getting that puck and moving the puck back up. But face-off just outside the Benil St. Margaret zone. But I like what I've seen in this third period, at least the last 5 minutes, 6, 7 minutes from Benil St. Margaret. They seem to have better focus. They have better drive. They seem to understand the situation, want to finish playing a prideful game, and so far you can check that box.
Batchelder fans on that one, stays with it, in on goal, as that's into the midsection of Limestone with an even 5 minutes remaining.
But I like the defense from Schweitzer. Schweitzer had his man. Logan Like had his man in the middle, so if there was a second chance, Logan Like had him tied up. Those are the little things that you have to do to get success, and it's just sustaining it from game to game, period to period.
Back in behind the net it goes. Left wing side for Foley. Leaves a drop pass at the line as that's Holt who gets muscled. Mortensen shoots. That was deflected by Luke Middlestat. Nice play there. His bench loved it as they wrap on the boards. Back in from the corner they go. Now Mortensen's there. Foley steps in. Schweitzer tries to cut off Batchelder at the line. Now Like will regroup in his own zone looking for Schweitzer. Schweitzer, left wing side. Batchelder is there. Now Schweitzer has it. And now it's going to be Like. Ahead he goes to Ellings across the line. Nice job by Riku Brown. Gets the stick in on him. Now it's going to be Holt over for Batchelder. Sends that one off the glass and in deep as it's going to be picked up by Sarsland as he'll give it a shot back out of the zone. Sarsland looked for Messenberg, but that's cut off by Stansberry. His snapper into the midsection stopped and hung on to by Limestone.
Well, Stansberry right-handed shot on the left side. He had a pretty good angle. Just on top of the dot, fired one. I think he was trying to go glove side, but I think he didn't get really what he wanted on it. But Limestone received it in the crest, held on to it, face off to his right. 4:02 remaining in this third period.
A little motley crew going here. Because it's the same old.
Same old song and dance.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Now it's going to be Gay with it to the right wing side. Look for Warner. Britton steps into that one, plays that back in behind the net. Pergandy, watched by Sarsland. Off the boards for Langenbrunner. Nice keep there for him off the right wing side. Luloff, jammed by Callahan. Stansberry again. Tries to find the boards, but there's Callahan with it. Cut off by Stansberry. Shallow angle. Now it's going to be Messenberg with it. Guides this one up for Warner, but Britton is there. And that's a glove save made by Carson Limestone. You know, they've been going high glove all night long. Have you noticed that?
Yes, indeed. And they've had some intermittent success, we'll call that.
When they hit the net.
But Limestone, he can flash the ladder. That one was, the offering from Britton was going to go a little bit wide, but Limestone opted to hold on to that, allowing Coach to put some fresh legs out on the ice.
Face-off win. Britton plays over to Langenbrunner, back in behind the net. Marble is there. Peltier as well. And quickly out of the zone comes Bisson, looking over for Conley. Nice play by Langenbrunner, and that one's just offside at the line.
Well, offsides by Benil, but they're showing energy. They're showing the determination that you're kind of looking for from good teams. But just a little bit of a misplay at the blue line offsides.
Back up through center. It's Like with it now. Conley off the boards. Marble will play this one over. That one pulled away from Tyler Johnson. Now it's Like to play this one at the line. Langenbrunner. Ahead it goes. Peltier with it. From the right wing, he's got Marble in front. Nice redirect there. Just misses the mark. As it's going to be Bisson out of the zone. Bisson now across the line. He's going to wait for some help, and Marshall, who flowed over to the right wing side. Now back into the corner it goes. Britton with the battle working there with Bisson. Conley in to help out. Equally, it's Riku Brown for Eagles. They push it up the board. Callahan's going to flip this one back into the corner behind the net. Britton is there. He guides the puck up the right wing side. Gets through Bisson. Delayed penalty coming up. Stick came in on him there. And they're going to have 6 slash and it's the slash with 2:09 to go.
I can even hear the slash with my headsets on, but it's going to be Bashan's going to go for Benilde St. Margaret's kind of by the way penalty, but Eden Prairie's going to finish on the power play. Eden Prairie's not letting their foot off the gas at all. Defensemen are holding the blue line. They aren't bailing quickly. So Eden Prairie just wants to kind of keep doing what they're doing. There's no reason to stop. You don't want to uncoach them, but great opportunity for Eden Prairie to net yet another one on the power play, but it's going to be Bashan, 2 minutes for slashing. Important face-up for Charlie Warner against Hope.
Puck rung around the boards. Langenbrunner. Messenberg, fine play up high there to force a turnover. Gains the neutral zone, but then there's Busby to take that away before he could get it the length of the ice. You know, Messenberg wasn't thinking about clearing the zone. He was thinking about trying to find a scoring chance there. You got to keep going here to try to put something in the net, even though you're shorthanded if you have a chance.
You are correct. You are who you are, and Messenberg is an offensive contributor on this team, but he still minds his defensive responsibilities. But you're right, they're trying to make something happen. They're trying to finish on a positive note. Being down by a man, you have to appreciate the fight in this Benilde team. They've really showed some character in this third period.
Langenbrunner over for Holt. He gets away from Messenberg. Gets tugged on there by the Red Knights skipper, or captain rather. The skipper is Ken Pauley. Sorry, I was trying to be cute there. That didn't work. Off the boards it goes through the neutral zone. Langenbrunner will regroup back into his own zone with a buck and a half to go here in the third period. Here comes Langenbrunner. Chopped at by Messenberg 2 times. Stays on the puck. Nice job by the Eagle defenseman. Batchelder plays this over for Brigandy. Busby back over for Langenbrunner with 1:13 to go. Boy, has he just gotten smoother and smoother as the years gone on. Was good coming in, but Langenbrunner just getting better and better. Mason we're speaking of course.
Absolutely, and notice that whenever he has the puck, his head is always up. He never has to look down at the puck, and that gives him an advantage over a lot of people.
Geertsen gets it there and turns it down the ice. As the Eagles will regroup with 40 to go on the power play and 47 in the period. Luloff now. He'll turn this one back in behind the net off the end boards for Luke Middlestad as he'll hang on to this one. And he'll shovel this one back in behind the net. Foley is there. Off the boards to center. Langfell's with it as he turns this one up ice. Foley is there. Now it's going to be Johnson out front. That misses the mark. Foley again will find the opening and send that one to center for Warner on the move. Here comes Warner to cross the line, kicks this to the corner with 5 seconds to go in the hockey game. That's going to do it here for the Eden Prairie Eagles and the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights. The Eagles with a very solid 6-2 win, bouncing back from their 3-1 loss at the hands of the Minnetonka Skippers. Come back here and beat the Red Knights, and that'll do it for this hockey game.
Well, indeed, and it was Johnson that actually put a very harmless shot wide of the net after the whistle, and Benilde St. Margaret's took exception to that, and the referee wanted to flag him over to the box. The game is now over. Eden Prairie comes out victorious. That's a big win for Eden Prairie. It kind of puts a staple on what they're trying to accomplish after that Minnetonka loss, a tough one to take, but they're right back on the horse, and Eden Prairie just has to kind of sustain this. Benilde St. Margaret's, they coming in on a 6-game win streak. They dropped one to a very good team. Just time to kind of regroup and refocus and play Benilde St. Margaret Red Knight hockey, and they'll be just fine.
Great part about this time of the year is you have the ability to lose a game, and then you have the ability to play another one. It's when you start playing next week that it starts to play for keeps. The Eagles improved to 17-5-1 on the season with the win. Meanwhile, the Red Knights fall to 14-7-2. Don't forget on Thursday night, it's senior night for the Red Knights. We'll be taking on the St. Louis Park Orioles in what should be a terrific hockey game here at the Rec Center. Also on Saturday, we've got 3 games. We're going to be doing the Dynamites out at the Trier Rink at 9:15 in the morning against the Detroit Ice Dream. And then it's going to be Eden Prairie. Bart's going to join us for that one. And then it's going to be Eden Prairie and the Wayzata Trojans at 3, Edina Minnetonka at 7. Be sure to check out our article, too, about these two coaches, Ken Pauley and Lee Smith at center ice, as they're chatting away with the referees. 2 500-game winners at about the same time. They become the 16th and 17th coaches in history high school hockey history to do that. Not a lot of coaches have done that. And you also have to recognize Wes Bolin over at Woodbury, 3 wins shy of his 500th. We'll see if he can get there this year yet. Otherwise, early on into next year as
That's
well.
awesome.
That'll do it. Your final score, the Eagles 6, the Red Knights 2. For Bart Archer, David Hillen, and Todd Grover, I'm Pete Wagner. Good night, everybody.